Well, hello, Quaker fans. This is Lex Zorn here coming at you live from Red Pride Stadium. We're going to be starting tonight's playoff broadcast in just a few minutes here, so just hang tight. I'm just getting all my game notes ready and getting all the technical stuff ready, and then we'll be ready to rock and roll with what should be a first round win over the Anderson Indians. So you don't want to count your chickens before they hatch, but things looking very promising tonight, which would move us to the sectional championship game next week, going for only the third sectional championship in school history, most likely against guess who? The Decatur Central Hawks, uh, our arch rival here. And so, anyway, that would be exciting. And if that's the case, the game will be right here at Plainfield. If not, then the game will be if Whiteland beats Decatur Central tonight in the other sectional first round game, then the next week's game will be at Whiteland. So hold on just a moment here. Let's see here. It was 53 degrees when I was pulling in here, so we should have a pretty moderate temperatures tonight. I'm still wearing my Plainfield golf short, but I do have a red sweatshirt here just in case. I made sure that I was equipped with warm clothing in Plainfield colors.
Sports Medicine Orthopedics is proud to serve as the official sports medicine provider of the NHSA. And 4J, our team of orthopedic specialists will help you get back to what you excel at faster. For more information about 4K Sports Medicine Orthopedics, visit 4kortho.com. Gentlemen, you at this time, the director continues to get you. We are opposite that. It's brutal, isn't it?
Okay. Okay, Rob, I am going to go on in 1 minute and 25 seconds. If you got any problem, let me know. All right, 115, 110, 105, 1 minute, 55. Can you bring me a few slices too? Thank you very much. Yeah. Just give me like 3 or 4 of the squares. All right. Let's see. 40 seconds. $30. 25. 18 seconds. Oh, thank you. All right. 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. All right, hold on just a second here. Okay. Blast off. Hello and welcome to Red Pride Stadium on the campus of Plainfield High School. My name is Lex Zorn and I'll be bringing you all the action as your 5th-ranked Plainfield Quakers challenge the Anderson Indians in the opening round of the Indiana High School football playoffs. Well, 2 weeks ago, your Quakers entered the regular season with a bang, visiting Martinsville and giving the Class 4A state championship contender Artesians their first loss of the season. As was the case a week earlier against Whiteland, Martinsville got the ball first and scored easily, but Plainfield then quickly took control of the game and won comfortably. Artesian senior superstar quarterback A.J. Reynolds scored on a 9-yard rush with 8:08 remaining in the first quarter, then passed to Mason Dotson for a 2-point conversion, making the score 8-0. But Plainfield answered on its first possession with the Quakers in a daunting 3rd and 8 at their own 35. Junior Luke Starnes rushed 11 yards to keep the drive going. Then, with 4:05 remaining in the quarter, he scored on a 13-yard rush. However, after falling behind 7-0 against Whiteland and then taking the lead with a 2-point conversion after their first touchdown, this time the Quakers attempted a 1-point conversion with senior kicker Leo Hayob. It was good, and Martinsville retained the lead 8-7. On their ensuing possessions, the Artesians scored on a 35-yard field goal by junior Charlie Rollins that hit the crossbar and bounced over with 11:03 remaining in the quarter. That increased their lead to 11-7, but that would be their last lead of the game. Plainfield then started its ensuing possession at the Martinsville 33, and explosive sophomore Ethan Ellis rushed 35 yards on the opening play. Later on the drive, Starnes scored his second touchdown of the game on an 8-yard rush with 9:05 remaining in the quarter, and junior Devin D'Amato rushed in a 2-point conversion, giving the Quakers the lead for good at 15-11. Martinsville threatened to get the lead back on their ensuing possession, but turned it over on downs at the Plainfield 36. The Quakers then took their first multiple possession lead on a 2-yard rush by senior Weston Wayrich with 3:45 remaining in the quarter. That and all of Plainfield's subsequent touchdowns were followed by successful 1-point conversions by Hayob. The Quakers now led 22-11 and quickly put the game out of reach. Martinsville bobbled the ensuing kickoff and Plainfield recovered, leading to a 1-yard touchdown rush by Wayrich with 2 minutes remaining in the quarter, bringing the game to a halftime score of 29-11. Plainfield got the ball first to start the second half, and Ellis returned the opening kickoff 75 yards to the Martinsville 15. That led to Wayrich's third touchdown in less than 6 minutes, a 2-yarder with 9:52 remaining in the quarter. That gave the Quakers a 4-possession lead at 36-11. From there, the Artesians compiled huge passing numbers, but never got closer than 2 possessions, and the Plainfield defensive line put strong pressure on Reynolds, often forcing him to pass before he was ready to. For the game, Starnes and Wayrich had 3 touchdowns apiece, bringing them to 18 and 15 on the season, respectively. Junior backup quarterback Gavin Likens, who had been used on several trick plays this season, also scored his first career touchdown on a 6-yard rush with 3:30 remaining in the third quarter. Plainfield scored touchdowns on its first 6 possessions and 7 of its first 8. The win gave Plainfield its first Mid-State Conference championship in 14 years. The Quakers shared the conference championship with Martinsville and Decatur Central, each of whom finished with a 6-1 conference records. Plainfield's only loss came to Decatur Central, whose only loss came to Martinsville. In addition, Plainfield has now won 8 games in the season for the first time in 15 years. Tonight, in the opening round of the playoffs, the Quakers try to keep their momentum going as they host the Anderson Indians, a long struggling program who enter this game with a record of 0-9. In the probable event that Plainfield wins, next week they will play the winner of tonight's Decatur Central Whiteland game next week for the sectional championship, and at that we shall pause for the national anthem. Well, thank you to Plainfield for that lovely rendition of the national anthem. So let me start over at the beginning of that paragraphs. Since we got interrupted by the national anthem. Tonight in the opening round of the playoffs, the Quakers try to keep their momentum going as they host the Anderson Indians, a long struggling program who enter this game with a record of 0-9. In the probable event that Plainfield wins, next week they will play the winner of tonight's Decatur Central Whiteland game next for the sectional championship 1 week from tonight. Now, so far this season, Plainfield has rushed 370 times and passed 76 times, a ratio of 4.9-1. Sophomore quarterback Bryce Sabank has mostly been a very conservative and efficient game manager. He's completed 46 of 73 passes, 63% for 464 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. His leading receiver is sophomore Ethan Ellis with 21 receptions for 21 receptions for 250 yards. Junior Ryan Garver with 8 receptions for 71 yards. His leading receiver, that is Sabank's leading receiver, is sophomore Ethan Ellis with 21 receptions for 250 yards, and junior Ryan Garver with 8 receptions for 71 yards. The Quakers do most of their damage on the ground and do a lot of it, led by Luke Starks with 178 rushes for 1,396 yards and 18 touchdowns, while the other lead actor, Weston Wayrich, has 140 rushes for 817 yards and 15 touchdowns. Head coach for Plainfield is Tyler Bless, who's 14-5 in his second season with the Quakers. Head coach for Anderson is Jared Pennycup, who's 5-24 in his third season with the Indians. Well, at this time, we'll take a short break for a few words from our sponsors, and then we'll be back with the opening kickoff. Plainfield Anderson playoff action coming at you live under the Friday night lights. Next. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to thank them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Canal Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy Ryan Grimes, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, partners. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're just a few minutes away from kickoff, and let's see here. 6:57 is your time of day right now. It's a slightly chilly it's a slightly chilly mid-autumn evening here in the lovely community of Plainfield in the southwest suburbs of Indianapolis. Currently, the temperature is 52 degrees. The sky was mostly sunny today. We had a high of 57. Supposed to be an overnight low of 39. Now, 1 week from tonight, for the sectional championship is supposed to be quite a bit better. 66 is supposed to be the height that day. That's really great for November the 8th, if it turns out that way, which hopefully it will. We'll be talking more about the potential matchups later in the broadcast. But anyway, right now, before we kick off, let's take a look at the situation with the other 5 Hendricks County teams here in the playoffs. 3 of them opened last week, starting with the only loss of the 3. The 8th ranked Class 4A Danville Warriors lost in a super thriller 50-49 in overtime to the 7th ranked Brebeuf Jesuit Braves at Brebeuf Jesuit in Northwest Indianapolis. Starting in the 4th quarter, Brebeuf Jesuit actually led 35-14 before Danville ran off 29 consecutive points to take a 43-35 lead. Excuse me. Well, let me back up. They ran off 22 consecutive points to take a 36-35 lead, and then on Brebeuf Jesuits ensuing possession, they threw a pass that was intercepted by Danville, and all Danville had to do was down the ball, but the guy ran it in for a touchdown, and therefore Brebeuf Jesuit got the ball back with still only an 8-point deficit, so it was still a 1-possession game. And on the last play of regulation, they tied the game on a 60-yard play that included 2 laterals and a fumble recovery. And then they won in overtime, and Danville actually protested the win because in the overtime drive, after Danville scored on their first possession, on the first possession of overtime, then what happened was Brebeuf Jesuit got tackled for 4th down, but before the play was over, some Danville players went on the field, and so anyway, the commentator said it would not have interfered with the play, but nevertheless, the penalty was called against Danville for having illegal men on the field, and Brebeuf Jesuit got another play, and they got a touchdown and then won on the conversion. So anyway, the kickoff here, Anderson's kicked off, and now the opening kickoff there is, I believe that's Ethan Ellis. He takes up to the 30, 35, 40. Anderson won the toss, and I was surprised they deferred because, you'd think a team that struggled so badly on defense all year long would want to really get the ball first and, try to, squelch any momentum. So anyways, Plainfield as it is now, they're going to start in very good field position at their own 42. But anyway, the call, calling the penalty for guys on the field who are not interfering with play, that's a letter of the law versus spirit of the law thing. Danville filed a protest, but the victory by Brebeuf Jesuit was upheld. Anyway, we'll talk more. I'll just save that for halftime. So anyway, first play from scrimmage here with Plainfield, 7:01 your time of day. Should get an easy win here. With the flag is whistled dead. Anderson 0-9. So we got a delay of game on the Quakers. That's not a good way to start. Now Plainfield should win this game, as I said last week, with no problem. Anderson 0-9, Plainfield 8-1. The only common opponent between these two teams is Harrison, who Plainfield beat 24-9 and who beat Anderson 52-0. So now, hold that thought. Now Starnes takes the opening handoff, and he gets up past the first down more. He's still on his feet past the 40, and he could go all the way, and it looks like he will. It's going to be very close. Yes. So the first play from scrimmage, 63 yards by Luke Starnes. So Plainfield looks like they're going to run away with this. That's number 19 on the season for Luke Starnes, the junior. So it really makes you wonder what Anderson's reasoning was for deferring. You'd think they'd want to, get the ball first, try to get an early score, try to keep the Plainfield offense off the field. So anyway, Leo Hayob on the extra point. He's had a very good senior season, both on kickoffs and on extra points. It is up, and it is good. So 45 seconds is all it takes for Plainfield to open the score here in this playoff opener. 7-0 your score, and it's only 7:03. You know, I want to make it clear. I feel for what these Anderson kids are going through, having this kind of year. It's not the kind of year anybody wants to have. I especially feel for their seniors. But, you know, at the same time, I emphasize that we do not owe anyone an apology for drawing a weak opponent this year. Believe me, nobody has ever apologized for us. You know, nobody's ever apologized to us all the years that we drew, you know, Ron Colley and Cathedral and Decatur Central in the first round. I'm not saying they owed us an apology, but I'm just saying that sometimes, you know, in sports, a big part of, you know, who has the most success is who gets, you know, the most lucky breaks. And when you get a lucky break, you just got to jump on it. So anyway, I just want us to get a 35. You know, I don't want us to score 100 today. I just want us to get a 35-0 first half lead. Take the game seriously, execute, and then take all our starters out. Take all our starters out. Take all our starters out. Play the entire second half with a running clock, and just get these kids rested and ready for the sectional championship game next week. So Hayab kicks deep. It's fielded about the 9, right up to the 10, 15, 20. And Anderson did not post statistics for every game on Max Preps like most high school teams do. So I do not have full statistics for them, but I do know that their star player is their quarterback, Tavius Menifee, who is a senior, 6'1", 165, very athletic. Does not have much of a supporting cast around him, but based on some of the video highlights I've seen, he looks like he could be a good college player. And he actually might be a relative of mine, and I'm not joking about that. I'll get into that here in a minute. But anyway, so he lines up with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back. Fakes the handoff, takes it himself, and he gets up, he dives, and he gets right back to about the line of scrimmage. But anyway, I mentioned his name is Tavius Menifee. One of my great-great-grandmothers was Eliza Menifee. Okay, so they give Menifee credit for 4. I looked at the wrong yard marker. Sorry about that. So anyway, Plainfield leading 7-0. Anderson 2nd and 6 at the 21. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Menifee in shotgun with 1 running back. Takes it. And he hands off, and he's brought down for a loss. So that's a loss of 8. We were right ready for him on that play. So third and 14 now for the Indians on their own 13. Daunting 3rd and long. Now Menifee throws deep, and it is going to be. It should have been intercepted. Brady Samonk had both hands on it, just didn't get the grip. It was not a well thrown ball. It was a desperate pass. So Anderson will apparently go 3 and out here on their first possession. But yeah, one of my great great grandmothers was Eliza Menifee. There's pass interference against Plainfield, so very lucky break there for the Indians. But anyway, I mean, it's through my great grandmother Eliza Menifee that I'm a second cousin 5 times removed. Former U.S. Representative Richard Hickman McAfee of Kentucky, and Menifee County in Kentucky is named after him. So I had to get in touch with Tavius Menifee and tell him about our possible relation. I keep meaning to visit Menifee County, make a pilgrimage there, just check out that part of my family history. But now Menifee fakes it, and he moves up. He gets back right around to the line of scrimmage. Very athletic kid, but obviously not a big supporting cast around him. So they're going to rule it no gain. Anderson averaged only 11.3 points a game on the season. They scored only 40 points in the first 7, although they scored 62 in the last 2. So they did show some improvement down the stretch in that area. So 2nd and 10 for the Indians at the 28. So Menifee takes it, drops back, screen, and it's way over his head. So that'll be 3rd and 10. So Menifee, that will be his first official pass of the game now. So 2 receivers to the left now, 1 to the right. Menifee in shotgun. Takes a high snap, but he gets a screen pass, and it is complete. It's going to be well short of the first down. Javon Warfield, another senior, in on the reception. Got about 6 there. So that'll bring up 4th and 4. I'd imagine that, being at their 34, Anderson would punt, although obviously they're a team, well, they're looks like they're lining up to they're lining up to go for it, but it be good. It could be a situation where it looks like they are going to punt after all. And it's blocked, and it's a live ball, and we recovered inside the 15. All right. So Plainfield, not even 4 minutes into this game, already knocking on the door of a 2-touchdown lead. Well, on their last possession, the Quakers scored on their first play, 63 yards. Now they start this one only 14 yards shy of the end zone. And hand off to Wayrich, and he goes up the middle and gets up for about 5 or 6. Weston Wayrich had a breakthrough senior season. Only 2 touchdowns last year as a junior, 15 this year as a senior. Gets 6 on his first carry tonight. 2nd and 4 for the Quakers at the 9, 7:38 to go, and already leading 7-0. We got a stoppage here. We got a Quaker player is hobbling. It is Tommy Spilker. He got the that very ugly touchdown reception a couple of games ago against Whiteland. I'm not complaining. I mean, it's it was a great score. And one of several unlikely trick plays that have worked for the Quakers this season. So, and now back in action here. Hand off to Wayrich, and he goes straight in for the touchdown. So, wow. Quakers are making it look easy tonight. They're taking care of business. 3 plays from scrimmage, 2 touchdowns. This was expected to be an easy win. It looks like it's going to be. I certainly, wish nothing but, good things for these Anderson kids, but, they're just having a really rough year at it. Well, apparently there's a flag. There are 3 officials deliberating now. This is a tasty pizza. Yep. So thanks to the Plainfield staff here for providing us Donato's Pizza, as they have every game this year, except, of course, for the Saturday game, the one that was delayed from Friday. I'm sure they would have had the game been played as usual on Friday. Also, thanks to the Harrison and Franklin staffs for the pizza they served me this season. Last year, Whiteland was the only road team that served me pizza. Now, 3 officials still deliberating. Finally, they break their huddle. So let's see what the call is. Now, Plainfield, prior to this play, already has two penalties against them. That's the only blotch on their game. There was on the first play from scrimmage, there was a delay of game, and then there was a pass interference that kept an Anderson drive alive. Now, two officials are discussing something with one of the Plainfield staff. We got a very good crowd here, by the way. Still filing them. We got about 2,500 crazed Quaker fans here in the home bleachers. Across the field in the Anderson bleachers, unfortunately, not much. We got about 20, maybe 25. I really thought they should have delayed this game to 7:30 because Anderson, under normal traffic conditions, would be close to an hour from here, and then under today's traffic, not only people getting off work, but the big pile up on 70 for the Taylor Swift concert at Lucas Oil Stadium. Um, you know, traffic is really bad, so I thought they should have given the Anderson fans, an extra half hour. And it's anyway. So yeah, it's offsetting unsportsmanlike conduct penalties. So Plainfield's still ahead 13-0 with the conversion pending, 7:26 to go in the first quarter. The Quakers likely on their way to a running clock in the second half, which is what I wanted all along. Just want to get the win, get these kids rest, and nobody get hurt on either side. God, I don't want any Anderson kids hurt tonight either. Two officials still deliberating. It looks like they're going to back up the conversion. Well, I have, this is like, I think the longest officiating deliberation I've ever seen. And we had a bunch back in that Decatur Central game back in week 6, our only loss of the season. All right, so finally they're going to do the extra point here from the usual distance, so they didn't back it up after all. And Hayob is up, and he is good. So not even a tenth of the way through this game, the Quakers already with a 14-0 lead. Anderson again, 0-9 on the season. The Indians, a hard luck program for a long time. They've never had great success. They've only had only one winning season in the last 23 years, none since 2011. I feel for these kids, and I just, hope, I've had family in Anderson over the years. I really hope for them to get it turned around. I know the Indians program had a great tradition in basketball for many years. The Wigwam, the biggest high school gym, I believe it was the biggest high school gym in the world, closed several years ago. But, a few players, gave a few players to Bob Knight down there at IU, Winston Morgan, Stu Robinson. I believe Bobby Wilkerson went there as well. But they're just not, they've just always had a hard time in football. Only 7 playoff wins in program history. They've never won a sectional. They have gotten to the sectional championship game twice, 1990 and 92. So now Hayob, a deep kick, fielded by Menifee at about the 8, and he takes it over to the 10, 15, scrambling around. He carries his way up to the 20. A tough kid gets, I think they're going to give him forward progress to the 21 or the 22. God, I hope it turns out that he is related. I will have to check that out because it's not a very common name. And if he is related to me, it's probably not that distant. Like I said, my one of my great grandmothers was named Menifee. So they mark it at the 21. So that's about a 13 yard return there. Yeah, my son Liam, speaking of Taylor Swift, my son Liam, is, an awesome genealogist. He's really good at researching birth records and stuff. And he found out recently that he's actually a 10th cousin of Taylor Swift, making me a ninth cousin once removed of Taylor Swift. So that was pretty cool to find out. And yeah, I think he did. Liam, did you do a social media post on that? No. Well, you should, especially now that she's in town. You should like show the relation. Do a post showing showing the relation to her. I think it's a good idea. But anyway, yeah, there's a few celebrities that I have a distant relation to. But anyway, second, so now two receivers to the left, one to the right. Anderson trying to get something going, trailing by 14 here in the first 5 minutes of the game. Menifee fakes the handoff, throws up to Warfield, is way off target though. Menifee, a great athlete, not real good accuracy on his passes. But I imagine that he could get some. He could be a utility guy for a college team. I mean, he's a tough kid and he's very very athletic. He just doesn't have much of a supporting cast around him, which is really a shame. If he had grown up in this Plainfield program, I think he'd be a big star for this program. So now, hands off, and he takes it up. He's hit at the line of scrimmage, might have gained one or two. So Malik Jones there, they give him credit for one. Bringing up 3rd and 9 at the 22 for the Indians. Very critical 3rd and 9 for Anderson. Now, Menifee took it himself, and he's brought down at the line of scrimmage. He's just about their only decent option. It looks like. So it'll bring up another 4th down. We blocked their last punt and converted it into a touchdown in 2 plays. So let's just blitz this. We've only done 3 offensive plays. We just want to rest these kids. And now we're it's a very bad punt. It looked like it went off the side of his foot, and now Starnes returns it. But the good coverage for Anderson. So and now, but there's a late flag. Let's see what the call is. So playing the Quakers will start face mask. Okay, face mask against Anderson, it looks like. So that'll move it up from the Anderson 48 to the Anderson 33. And of course, if you're Anderson, you don't want to give Plainfield good field position. This is a game. Obviously, Plainfield is almost certain to win here. I'm glad, but this is a game that as a commentator and as a super fan. Hold on. Now hand off to Starnes. He's got through on the right side, inside the 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. And did he get in? And there's a late flag. I couldn't tell if he crossed the plane or not. If he is down, it's very close to the end zone. Let's see. So I think the officials have spent more time deliberating in this game than we've seen action on the field, and that's not much exaggeration. Okay. Yeah. By the way, let me see that. Let me show that, Liam. Yeah, Liam said our closest common ancestors to Taylor Swift are through her maternal grandmother, and one person born in Virginia, one person born in the Netherlands. So anyway, so now they're and so now two receivers to the right, one to the left. They're doing the play over, and now throw deep into the end zone, and it is caught for the touchdown. That was Ethan Ellis, 33 yards from Sabank. Only the third passing touchdown of the season for Plainfield. Now's a good time to do it. 33 yards. And yeah, in a game like this, it's a good time to get the passing more energized. It's progressively improved through the year, and now obviously, the first two touchdown passes of the season by Sabank both came on short passes in the opening game on the Whiteland game back in week 8. So good to see him get their first long touchdown pass of the season. And Ellis has come through with some explosive plays for us, so the kick is up and good. Well, now that we're doing this a break, with while we await Plainfield's kickoff, let me just say, you know how much I love Plainfield. I love Plainfield football as much as anybody. I'm a super crazed, diehard fan. You hear the emotion in a lot of my broadcasts. This is one of those games. I just want to get this game over with. You know, this is a mismatch. I feel bad for Anderson. Um, they've had a lot of rough luck this season. They've had a lot of rough luck over the years, but especially this year. I'm sorry that they're going through all this. I just want us to get that 35-point lead, take the starters out, and get everybody rested for next week. Get through the second half, with the running clock. Get out of here by 9 o'clock tonight, and just start preparing for the sectional championship tomorrow. I mean, start preparing tomorrow for next Friday's sectional championship. So Plainfield now, God, the rate we're going, by the way, we are on pace to get the 35-0 lead here in the first quarter, believe it or not. So another deep kick now, and this one, however, goes out of bounds. So Anderson gets a little bit of a break there. Oh, hold on, let me. I've So anyway, I'm sorry for my lack of spirit. I just want us to just get out of here with this win, and I'm glad that the kids are taking the game seriously, that they're not messing around. We got a couple more penalties than I'd like, but other than that, this has been a good execution, and it's been a very businesslike performance. And now the ball goes over Menifee's head, and he falls on it. Oh God, poor guys. Um, I mean, when you spend more time feeling sorry for the opposing team than getting excited for your own team, you know what kind of game it is. So let's just get the win here. Be thankful for it. Be thankful for our good luck, and let Anderson get to work on next season. You know, I remember saying in the really, I was saying it before, in the second half of our playoff loss to Harrison last year. We have to take the approach um, that next season starts right now. And now there's a timeout taken, 4:29 to go. Anderson takes his first time out. Oh, Whiteland leading Decatur Central is 7-0 in the first quarter. Wow, that's a surprise. The thing is, the bad news is if Whiteland wins over Decatur Central, we have to go on the road next week. The good news is I like our chances better if we play Whiteland. Although, I wouldn't take the win for granted because Darren Fisher, has a lot of great teams. And his team last year, his team started weak, finished strong. They started off 3-4, then came back, won their sectional. It would not be surprised if they did the same this year. We cannot take that win for granted if we play them next week. So now back to action here, 2nd and 28 after that miscue. And this Anderson team it's not that they're not talented. It's like they're not very fundamentally sound. I mean, I ran into that when we played Arsenal Tech in the opening round of the playoffs back in 2016. They have some very athletic kids. So now Menifee hands off to Jones, and they crush him at the line of scrimmage for probably a loss. Oh, God. Loss of 2 there for Jones. Under 4 minutes now in the first quarter, Plainfield leading 21-0. This was expected to be an easy Quakers win. It apparently will be. Anderson coming in at 0-9. And now Menifee takes the snap, looks for someone on the left side, but he's got nothing there, and he's brought down maybe the line of scrimmage. So it looks like they're going to mark it around the line of scrimmage. No, they marked. I was looking at the wrong marker. That's going to be a 5-yard loss. So 4th and 35, and so the Indians punter now standing at the goal line. Boy, that'd be great if we got a block here. We've already blocked one of their punts tonight, and he does get that one off. And we got a fair catch. Starnes takes the fair catch at the 33. So Plainfield Plainfield once again starting off at the Anderson 33 as they did last time. Plainfield has run 4 offensive plays in this game and scored touchdowns on 3 of them. A 63-yard rush by Luke Starnes, a 9-yard rush by Weston Wayrich, and then a 33-yard pass from Bryce Sabank to Ethan Ellis. So now the Quakers 2:55 to go in the quarter. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right now. 1 running back. And now Sabank screen pass. And it's dropped. The intended receiver there was Mason Beers. So that we're a little over 9 minutes into the game, and that was only the 5th play that that Plainfield has run. But I don't mind them trying more passing tonight. I mean, tonight's a good game to do that because it's good if we establish more of a passing offense because there are games in which we're likely to need it. So now 2 receivers there, and now a handoff there to Starnes, and he gets up for about 9. I think they're going to mark him 1 yard short, which would be 3rd and 1. That was only the 2nd carry of the game for Starnes. His first was a 63-yarder for a touchdown. Not if they're dead, no. Because if there's no harm that can come out of that, then yeah. So 3rd and 1 at the 24 now. Hand off there to Starnes. He gets through the line, past the 15, past the 10, still on his feet, up to about the 5. So Luke Starnes getting getting about 19 or 20 there. It's going to be well, okay, they gave him even 1 yard more than I thought. So 3 carries, 94 yards for Starnes. Under 2 minutes to go in the first quarter. Plainfield already on top, 21-0. And so one receiver at each side now. And now Wayrich there fakes the handoff, throws into the and it's dropped. It's dropped. So Brandon Hendry was the. They said he did catch it, but it was for a 2-yard loss. Brandon Hendry there had several 2-point conversions for us last year. So 2nd and goal at the 5 for the Quakers. So now handoff to Wayrich, and he drives forward, and he's got the touchdown. So with 1:10 to go in the first quarter, Plainfield already knocking on the door of that running clock. They now lead 27-0 with the conversion pending. That's number 2 on the game and number 17 on the season for the senior Weston Wayrich. This one coming from 5 yards. Wayrich 3 for 20 and 2 touchdowns on the game. He certainly skyrocketed his college stock this year as the extra point is up, and it is good. So now here's the rule. If we get up to a 35-point lead, which now looks imminent, we will play with the normal rules for the remainder of the first half. However, if we have at least a 35-point lead heading into the second half, we will play for a running clock, which means that they don't stop the clock, I think, except for timeouts and injuries. Of course, when there are official timeouts when they do have injuries, but I mean, if one team takes a timeout, which is not something that normally happens during running clocks. So, anyway, I'll tell you one good thing about that drive. I mean, at least it establishes, at least it gives the offense a chance to establish a little bit of a rhythm, because the first 2 drives were, the first 3 drives were a total of 4 plays. So it's good to get the offense out on the field a little more time than that. So now Anderson returns the opening kickoff just shy of the 20. That's how trash they are. Yeah, for kids. I'll tell you, I have a story at halftime. I've got several stories at halftime. One of them is related to, the only other time I commentated a game similar to this. I just hope Anderson, gets a coach and they get the funding that they need to, build a good football program. So anyway, Menifee fakes the handoff, takes it over to the left side, looks for some room, but there's just nothing there, and he gets brought down around the line of scrimmage. I give this Menifee kid, credit. He's trying, but God, he just, he's just so well covered. It's not that he doesn't have the talent. They mark him down the line of scrimmage. So now 36 seconds to go and counting in the first quarter. Plainfield 28, Anderson 0. The Quakers will move to the sectional championship game next week against Decatur Central or Whiteland. Whiteland leading that game in the first quarter 7-0. So now pass, and the intended receiver had his back to it. So obviously, again, there's some serious fundamental problems with Anderson. Again, they just got to get some good, they obviously need, a lot of, overhaul in that program, and I hope they get it one of these days. I feel so much for these kids being put into this situation. So 17 seconds to go, 3rd and 10. Anderson at their own 20. Takes snap. Now it gives it. No, he faked the handoff to Jones. Menifee kept it himself, and he's brought down. And that will be the end of the first quarter. So after 12 minutes of play here at Red Pride Stadium, your Plainfield Quakers on the way to an easy first-round playoff win. They lead the Anderson Indians 28-0 on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous support of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Berberich, Ganell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, the Stewart Home Group, and Ellis and Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, we're about to start the second quarter of this playoff opener with your Plainfield Quakers leading the Anderson Indians 28-0. Yes, that's 28-0. It's a game in which Plainfield entered as the extremely heavy favorite. They entered the game at 8-1, ranked number 5 in the state in all 3 polls. Anderson entering at 0-9, having only averaged 11 points a game on the season, and just having struggled just very badly in every area of the game. So anyway, 4th and 14 now. Looks like Anderson will punt. And Luke Starnes back deep to receive for the Quakers, standing at the Anderson 45. We just need 7 more points to go to a running clock in the second half, provided we have at least a 35-point lead at the end of the half. But at this point, I don't see Anderson scoring unless it's just some kind of major fluke. Low snap. He does get the punt off, but it's a super low punt. Bounces about the 37, and now takes a little bit of an Anderson bounce, and it's down to around the 42 or so of Anderson. So Plainfield should have no problem getting that additional score. Anderson only has 1 first down, and it came on a penalty. That reminds me of a couple of years ago down at Perry Meridian, where the host Falcons did not get an earned first down until, I believe, the last 4 minutes of the game. So the Quakers have had the ball 4 times. They've scored all 4 times, scored a touchdown. So now we've got 1 receiver to each side. Empty backfield. Plainfield, I think, is going to try to do a little more passing here. And now that he hands it off to Ellis on a trick play inside the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. All right. So Ethan Ellis has the Quakers 1 extra point away from what would be their what would be enough points to have a running clock in the second half. And we're only 19 seconds into the second quarter here. Ellis with several explosive plays on the season, and he's only a sophomore. He broke the ice for us in the second quarter of game one, giving us our first score of the season on a double handoff. And now the extra point by Hayob is up and good. So that's important because that means that right now, assuming that Anderson does not reduce this lead going into the half, then we'll play the entire second half with a running clock, which is what I wanted. So it's fine with me if we maybe run the starters one or two more possessions, but I really would like them all to be out by the end of the half. I mean, God, I mean, this is God. I mean, this is this really looks like I remember when I used to live near Louisville. They would have like the red black or the red black scrimmage or whatever it was during spring football every year, where the starters play the reserves. I mean, this was like more one sided than that, and I'm not exaggerating. Um, this is very, very sad. Um, I'm glad for Plainfield's victory. I'm glad they drew a weak opponent for week one, but this is not a pleasant thing to see. Except that I'm glad that our kids are playing hard. And now kickoff taken near the goal line, brought to the 10. And he's well coverage, 15, stays on his feet. Boy, Menifee, he deserves better than this. He's a talented kid. And the thing is, when you're, a talented kid on an awful team in basketball, you usually at least get to score a good number of points. But yeah, in football, when it relies so much on having protection, that just makes it so hard. And by the way, Ellis is a lot of his best plays have come on trick plays this year. That one, it looked like they were lining up to pass with an empty backfield, but then Ellis came over for the handoff, took it all the way in. So Anderson starting off this drive at their own 17 now. High snap now, screen pass, and it's tipped, and it's intercepted, and he's still on his feet, and he's brought down. And see, that's another thing that's that's going to go down as an interception for Menifee, but it was a tip though. I wish there were a special category for that. So now the Quakers they are sending their starters out. Got two receivers to the right, one to the left. Wayrich is the running back. So now Sabank takes the handoff, hands off to Wayrich, and he's up for about 4 or 5. He already has 2 touchdowns in this game. They do give him credit for 5. So Wayrich now 4 rushes, 25 yards, 2 touchdowns. The touchdowns coming from 9 and 5. So 2 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs. So a lot of options here. Now handoff there to Wayrich around inside the 25, 15, 10, 5, and he drags his way down, and he's got the touchdown. Weston Wayrich's 3rd of the game, 18th of the season, coming from 21 yards out. What a senior season that young man is having. So the score now, 41-0 with the conversion pending. Wow. Second touchdown in 1 minute and 5 seconds. Yeah, Liam just said we could be out of here before 9. I think he might be right. And now the kick is up, and it is good. So 6 for 6 for Hayab on the game. Well, you know, it's this will be the first time that Plainfield has gotten 9 wins in a season in a whopping 15 years. Hopefully, they'll keep piling them on. Wow. So I'm sorry if I seem speechless. This has just been such an odd game. I mean, we play at such a tough schedule that I'm not accustomed to us playing, teams of this low quality. And this is a total mismatch. So anyway, now Hayab, and he gets it easily into the end zone for a touchback. So like I said, this will be Plainfield's first 9-win season. I'm sorry, it's 16 years. The last time they won. The last time they won 8 games was 2009, 15 years ago. The last time they won 9 games was 2008, 16 years ago. The last time they won at least 10 was back in 2006. Brian Woodard's first season as head coach. They won 11 that year. In fact, they started off 11-1 before their only loss was the sectional championship, 35-7 to guess who, Cathedral. So now Anderson, with not an earned first down all game, trying to get something going here. And now Menifee, and now he nearly caught it on a tip, but fell to the ground incomplete. Man. So 2nd and 10 now for the Indians, trailing 42-0 here. Not even just 13 and a half minutes into the game. Menifee takes it, running for his life. Now he's got some room here, and he's got a first down. So he found some good room on the right. So I like the spirit that he's playing with. So yeah, that's the first earned first down by Plainfield in this game. So 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 30. And even 10 minutes to go in the second quarter, but they trail by 14. And now Jones gets it, and he's brought down for just a very short gain. And I'm sorry, that was Houston Edwards with his first carry. He is a sophomore. Hopefully, he'll have better days with this program. So they give him a credit for 1 yard. They're bringing up 2nd and 9 at the 31, 9:30 to go here in the second quarter. Plainfield 42, Anderson 0. And now throws deep down the right side. We got a flag here. Oh, it's incomplete. Okay, it was apparently an object thrown on the sideline, not the flag. So no flag after all. All right. Yeah, and that's very common, by the way. So anyway, 3rd and 9 now for the Indians. They've punted on every possession except for the one that ended on an interception. So now pass, and he's got a completion this time, and he's got out of bounds for the first. Gain of about 11 there. That's going to be a gain of about 11 there. So Javon Warfield has both receptions for Anderson in this game. 1st and 10 now for the Indians at their own 41. So now 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 running back. Menifee in shotgun takes it. And now throws deep in double coverage. I think he got it, but there is a flag. It's about a 30-yard gain if it counts. He was knocked out. It was completed to Warfield. Pass interference against the Quakers. So that's a 29-yard pass. So Anderson finally getting some offense going. But obviously they're in a deep hole. So 1st and 10 at the Plainfield 30 for Anderson, the first time they've been in Quaker territory all game. Two receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 1 running back. Menifee in shotgun. Takes it, hence complete pass to Warfield. This time they're right on top of him, and he just gets about 1. I think they're going to give him forward progress just out to the 29. So Menifee, after going 1 for 7 through the air to start off, now has completed his last 3 in a row. That one only for 1, however. All 4 completions going to Javon Warfield. Warfield, also a senior, playing his final high school game. Good size at 6'3", 155. So 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. So now Menifee finds some room on the right side, and he takes it up for about 4 or 5. So it's going to bring up about, so they give him credit for 4 right there. So 8 minutes now, so we're only a third of the way done through this game. But assuming we go to this running clock in the second half, it'll pass much, much more quickly. And now we got some movement on the line, but no flag, no snap yet. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3rd and 5 now for Anderson, trying to get their first score of the game. And now Menifee throws, and he's got a completion to Warfield, and he falls down right after getting the first down. So now 4 consecutive completions now from Menifee to Warfield, that one for 70 yards. So those 2 getting something going. First and 10 now for the Indians at the 18, cracking the red zone for the first time after they trail by 42. Now Menifee takes it. He's got room on the left side, inside the 15, inside the 10. And now I believe he's got the first down. I think he's out at the 7 or 8. Yeah, he did. So he moves the change there. So it's going to be a gain of 10 or 11 there. Yeah, 11. So first and goal now for the first and goal at the 8 for Anderson. Nearly a quarter and a half into this game, they trail 42-0. About to end the season at 0-10, but trying to end on a positive note. So now 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Menifee throws. He's got a completion for about 3. So now he throws to Javian Tavius Menifee throws to presumably younger brother Javian Menifee for 3 yards. The first catch for Anderson caught by anybody other than Warfield. So now throws in the end zone and it, incomplete, but there's a flag, possibly for pass interference. Javian Menifee, last name's first name spelled. Yeah, first name spelled Jayvien. Yeah, there's an airplane flying over, and my son Liam just asked us that a Monday to Friday plane, a reference to a super bad dubbing in the regular TV. Yeah, I'll hold that. It's now first and goal and now it throws first and goal at the 2 after the pass interference penalty. So now a hand up 1 yard touchdown pass, a 2 yard touchdown pass, from Menifee to Warfield. So Menifee all of a sudden has completed his last 6 passes. So now here's the thing. This is significant because if they get a 2-point conversion right here, which they're lining up to go for, then it'll only be a 34-point lead. So that won't be enough to do the running clock. So now Menifee takes it, and I believe we stopped him. It's going to be really close, but I think we stopped him a yard short. No, he got it. So the lead down to 34. So now Plainfield needs to score here so that we'll have the but it's 5:44 to go, by the way, in the quarter. So Tavius Menifee, a 2-yard touchdown pass to Javon Warfield, followed by a 2-point conversion rush by Menifee. And your score now 42-8, a 34-point lead. So I was hoping we wouldn't see the Quaker starters anymore, but now I'd say just keep the starters in there, just get the touchdown, and hopefully that'll be enough to take the 35-point lead into the locker room. Still waiting for another score on the Whiteland Decatur Central game. Last I heard, it was Whiteland leading 7-0 in the first quarter. And by the way, when that was announced over the PA, there was quite a bit of cheering here, among the crowd. I know they go for. It looked like they were going for an onside kick, and they. Oh, okay. We pick it up though, and takes it over on the left side up to the 40, 45, 50, 45, 40, 35, 30, 40. Yes, he's going all the way. Yes. Oh my God. Oh my God. Tayshawn Callahan. It looked like they were going for an onside kick. And he just he took it on a few bounces and took it all the way about 60 yards in for the touchdown. Oh my God. So we got the 40-point lead now. So now looks like we will be going for this unless Anderson can somehow cut it below, cut the lead below 35 again. It looks like we will have that running clock after all. So Tayshawn Callahan with the kickoff return for the touchdown. I'm trying to remember when. Okay, I guess this is the first first kickoff return for a touchdown for Plainfield since the Mooresville game last year when Vanderbush did it, and it was ironically right after Mooresville had just established their offensive momentum. So now Hayop 7 for 7 on the game on extra points. Well, so we got a 41-point lead now. So Anderson needs at least 7 points to avoid the running clock now. 5:31 to go here in the second quarter. Wow, the game is already over an hour early, and we're still barely a quarter and a half into the game. 8:04 your time of day. It's been an hour and 4 minutes since the game started, and we're still just barely a quarter and a half into the game. That's very unusual. Wow. What an incredible turn of events. So, yeah, we scored it. We didn't have to bring our offensive starters back. I like that. I definitely want to rest those guys. And now another touchback by Hayop. So 5:31 to go. Anderson will try to keep its offensive momentum going. So now, 1st and 10 at the 20. First and 10 at the 20 for Anderson, trailing by 41. Menifee gets up for about 3 or 4. That's his 10th keeper of the game. Gets 4 on that one. I have him 10 for 21. He's had a couple of losses, but he's had a couple of good gains as well. 5:07 to go now in the second quarter. Plainfield 49, Anderson 8 here in the opening round of the playoffs. The Quakers will play the winner of the Decatur Central Whiteland game next week. If Whiteland wins, it'll be at Whiteland. If Decatur Central wins, it'll be here at Plainfield. It's 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. 1 running back. Handoff, and this time he's up for maybe 1. So that's Houston Edwards again, the sophomore. Give him credit for 1. He had 1 on his first as well. 4:23 to go. So now Menifee throws deep down the right side into single coverage, and we got a flag here. I think it's going to be pass interference against the Quakers. He might have made the catch too. I couldn't tell if he got it before without the ball hitting the ground. Okay, so that's going to go as a 30-yard completion to Warfield. They declined the penalty. So a good effort there by the Anderson offense to try to, salvage something out of the game. And now another pass to Warfield for about 4. So 8 consecutive completions for Menifee now. Give him 4 on that one. Warfield, 7 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown. And now Menifee takes it. He's got some room on the left side up to the 40, 35. Breaks a couple of tackles inside the 30. So that's going to be a gain of 12 or 13 for Menifee. So Anderson playing like they don't want the running clock. Let's give him 12 or 13 on that one. Give him 13. So I guess Menifee, and Warfield figure it's going to be their last high school game. They might as well go out in style. And I admire that fighting spirit, especially considering everything they're up against. So 2 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left. 1 running back, Menifee in shotgun. And now we got the play whistle dead. False start against Anderson. So it'll bring up 1st and 15 from the Plainfield 33. Anderson trailing by 41 points here. 2:31 to go here in the second quarter. Here in the playoff opener. So now 1st and 15 for the Indians. The Hawks possibly our next opponent. Right now the Indians 1st and 15. Now throw is incomplete there. That was the intended receiver. There was Marion Bryant, who is another senior for the Indians. That broke a string of 7 consecutive completions for Menifee. So 2nd and 15 now. Now Menifee takes it, throws, and it's too low, incomplete. So 2 incompletions in a row for Menifee, but that brings up 3rd and 15. He's 8 for 17 on the game. 8 for 92. He's completed 8 of 17 passes for 92 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. So Decatur Central now leading Whiteland 21-7 at the half. So it looks like we will be. It looks like Decatur Central will be here 1 week from tonight for the sectional championship. So 3 receivers now to the right, 1 to the left for Anderson. 2:08 to go. Menifee now throws deep down the and it's. So it's completion to Javian Menifee, and it will be for the 1st down. No, it depends on where the spot is. No, it's going to be 1 yard short. So 4th and 1 now. Very big 4th and 1 for. Very important 4th and 1 for Anderson as they hope to avoid the running clock here. 4th and 1 now at the Plainfield 19. Now fakes the handoff. He takes it himself. He's got the 1st down. So got about 3 or so. 12th keeper of the game by Menifee. Anderson will have to get at least 7 points to avoid going into the second half with the running clock. Give him credit of 3 on that one. Give him credit for 3 on that one, excuse me. There'll be a lot to talk about at halftime. So 2 receivers now, 2 to the left, 1 to the right now. Menifee, and he's brought down for a sack. And that's going to be a loss of about, wow, it's about 7 or 8. And he's going to be dropped there for 8. Wow. And now there's an Anderson player who is hurt, who's limping off the field now with assistance. I believe it's Warfield. God, you hate to ever see anybody get injured, but especially in a game like this that's a blowout. I can't see his number from my vantage point, but he's limping off the field. Well, so 2nd and 18 at the 24. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Menifee takes it. He's got a hole inside the, but he's brought down. So only going to be a gain of a couple. So let's see if they use their timeouts. I think they've just used one. Trying to get another touchdown before the halftime, trailing 49-8. If the half ended right now, we would play for a second half to start off the. We would play it with a running clock to start the second half. Well, sorry for the lack of spirit here, but this is a total mismatch. You got to remember Plainfield, and this is something that I give the program so much credit for. Plainfield does not play cupcakes, and a lot of the powers, will start off with like maybe one cupcake or if not two. Plainfield isn't playing it. You look at our 2 non-conference opponents this year, Terre Haute South, not a powerhouse program by any means, but certainly at least an average 5A team, and then Harrison, a 6A team, who beat us in the playoffs, last year when they were still in 5A. And they, I believe, went 6-3 in this regular season. They're opening the playoffs tonight. I wish them well. Hard to believe we've made 4 trips up there the last 3 seasons. It'll be interesting to see if we keep them on the schedule or not as a non-conference opponent. It's a great rivalry, but it's just so darn far away, about 80 miles north of here. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3rd and 16 for the Indians, trailing by 41, 33.6 seconds to go in the second quarter. Menifee takes it, screen pass, and it's short. So we'll bring it 4th down. Man. So 4th and 16. This is to avoid the running clock in the second half here for Anderson. And Menifee, and he's brought down for a huge sack for about 15 yards. So Plainfield will take over on downside. I imagine they would just run off the rest of the half, kneel out the clock, and then just play the second half with the running clock and go home. Wow. Well, so I assume we're going to have a kneel down here. I don't see anything to be gained by, doing anything that's going to risk an injury. And now Plainfield taking a timeout with 24.4 seconds to go in the second quarter. the Quakers with a 49-8 lead. So hopefully hopefully by the end of the this broadcast, I'll know the final score of the Whiteland Decatur Central game. I've got the game pulled up on Max Preps here. It has updated, information every few minutes. So the Quakers kneel out the first half. So your Plainfield Quakers just have 24 running clock minutes to get through before they can go home and rest and start preparing for next week's sectional championship game. Your score at halftime tonight: Plainfield 49, Anderson 8. We'll be back after these words from our sponsors on audiosportsonline.com. This broadcast of Plainfield Quakers football on audiosportsonline.com is brought to you by the generous donations of our sponsors. We would like to recognize them, and we hope you will support them. They are Remax Centerstone, Julia Burbridge, Gunnell Financial, Crone Family Construction, My IT Indy, Ryan Grimes, I-70 Record Service and Garage, BGW Construction LLC, Legacy Motorsports, Crest Point Real Estate, Chris Pearson, Selwith Jones, and the Stewart Home Group, and Ellison Associates. Thank you, sponsors. Your support for the student athletes of Plainfield High School is greatly appreciated. Well, back here at Plainfield, where just about everything's going right with your Plainfield Quakers, they lead the Anderson Indians at halftime in the first round of the playoffs by a score of 49-8. Anderson entered the game at 0-9. A very bad team, I'm sorry to say. And they're a team that really just obviously a weak program. And, I guess their enrollment is good enough to put them in Class 5A, but, they really look like they ought to be playing, in 2A or 3A. And it's just, I feel really bad for these kids being put in this tough position, this no-win situation. But Plainfield has responded well, and they've taken the game seriously. They've executed very well. A few more penalties than I would have liked, but they've been focused, they've been businesslike, and they've done what they needed to do, understanding that this game is not, is not an end. It's just, one step you got to take up the ladder. If you want to get to the top of the ladder, you have to climb each step. This is the first step. Plainfield, on the first play from scrimmage, scored on a 63-yard touchdown rush by Luke Starnes. Leo Hayob was good, as he was on all 7 of his extra point attempts tonight. Then, following a blocked punt on Anderson's first possession, Weston Wayrich scored a 9-yard touchdown rush. Then, following a series of punts by Anderson, as well as an interception by Plainfield, the Quakers made it 21-0 with 5:17 to go in the first quarter on a 33-yard pass from Bryce Bonk to Ethan Ellis, the longest Quakers passing touchdown play of the season, and only the third passing touchdown for the Quakers on the season. Then with 1:10 to go in the quarter, Weston Wayrich scored on a 5-yard touchdown rush, his second of the game. Then with the 11:41 to go in the second quarter, Ethan Ellis on a trick play scored on a 42-yard rush. And then with 10:36 to go in the second quarter, just a minute and 5 seconds later, Weston Wayrich got his third touchdown of the game and 18th of the season on a 21-yard rush. Finally, then on Anderson's ensuing drive, they got some offense going and scored on a 2-yard touchdown pass from Tavian Menifee to Javon Warfield. Menifee rushed in the 2-point conversion himself, making the score 42-8 and cutting the lead to 34, meaning that the meaning that Anderson could have avoided playing with a running clock at the start of the second half. However, on the ensuing kickoff, which looked like, I'll check. But anyway, somebody just wanted to know, is Westfield playing? But anyway, what happened was after cutting the lead to 41-8, sorry, got interrupted there. After cutting the lead to 34 points, Anderson went for an onside kick, but it went a little too long, and Deshaun Callahan picked it up for Plainfield, took it in for the touchdown, and then Anderson actually got the ball down inside the Plainfield 25 and threatened to cut the lead under 35 again going into the half, but they turned it over on downs on a 13-yard sack against Menifee, and the score now 49-8. So we will play with a running clock to start the second half. Look at the individual statistics. First of all, for Plainfield, Bryce Sabankas completed 2 of 3 passes for 31 yards and a touchdown. Ethan Ellis has 1 reception for 33 yards and a touchdown. Brandon Hendry has 1 reception for -2 yards. On rushing, Luke Starnes has 3 rushes for 94 yards and a touchdown, while Weston Wayrich has 5 rushes for 46 yards and 3 touchdowns. So only 11 plays from scrimmage for Plainfield. And yet, they have 7 touchdowns to show for it. 5 on offense, then 6 on offense, and then 1 on special teams. And then meanwhile, for Anderson, Javian Menifee has completed 9 of 19 passes for 106 yards. Tavius Menifee has completed 9 of 19 passes for 106 yards, 1 touchdown, and 1 interception. Javon Warfield has 7 receptions for 89 yards and a touchdown, and Javian Menifee has 2 receptions for 17 yards. On the ground, Menifee has rushed 15 times for 18 yards. Houston Edwards has rushed twice for 2 yards, and Malik Jones 3 for -9. So anyway, in conclusion, this is a game in which, obviously it was a mismatch from the start, and I just wanted Plainfield to get a 35-point lead, play the second half with a running clock, and just go home, get some rest, and then tomorrow start preparing for the sectional championship game, which it looks like it's going to be right here against Decatur Central. I will keep you updated on that score right now. At the half, it is 21-7 in favor of Decatur Central. The Whiteland scored first, but Decatur Central's run off 21 consecutive points since then. Well, right now, let's take a look at what the other Hendricks County teams are doing in the tournament. 3 of them opened last week. 2 of them survived. 1 of them did not. The one that did not is Anderson. The Warriors entered the game ranked number 8 in the state in Class 4A on an 8-game winning streak after losing their opener. They played number 7, Brebeuf Jesuit, at Brebeuf Jesuit in Northwest Indianapolis. And Brebeuf Jesuit has been a super scoring team this year. My frequent broadcast partner, Rob Kendall, often refers to the Decatur Central offense as Tecmo Bowl. That's appropriate for Brebeuf Jesuit as well. They led 35-14 going into the fourth quarter. However, Danville ran off 3 touchdowns and made a 2-point conversion to take the lead 36-35. Then in the final seconds on Brebeuf Jesuit's ensuing possession, they threw an interception that was returned by Danville for a touchdown. But the thing is, Danville could have won the game by downing the ball, and by scoring the touchdown, it was even after the extra point, it was an 8-point game, and it was still just a 1-possession deficit for Danville, and they tied the game um, on the last play of regulation on a wild 60-yard play that included two laterals and a fumble recovery. And then in overtime, after Danville scored 6 points on their first possession, Rebuff Jesuit was tackled on fourth down short of the end zone. However, some Danville players came onto the field, I guess, to celebrate what they believed was the win before the player was down. Um, the officials then called the penalty on Danville and gave Rebuff Jesuit another play on which they scored the touchdown and hit the extra point to win the game. Should the penalty have been called on the Danville players? Since according to the broadcast that I listened to, I was listening to the game live. It did not interfere. Those Danville players who entered the playing field did not interfere with the play. It's a letter of the law versus a spirit of the law thing. Danville filed a protest against the loss. However, the IHSAA has upheld the Rebuff Jesuit win. So anyway, it's a sad end for Danville, especially not only after the 8-game winning streak, but after the courageous comeback on the road against the number 7 team in their class. Meanwhile, in Class 3A, the Cascade Cadets, ranked number 8 after a 9-0 regular season, opened the playoffs beating Crawfordsville 55-15 on the road. Tonight, they visit the other Class 3A team in Hendricks County, the Tri-West Bruins, who overcame a 2-4 start to win their last 3 regular season games, and they won their playoff opener last week 55-16 over the Washington Continentals. Now, as for the teams that did not play last week, both of them are in 6A. In fact, they're playing each other tonight. Brownsburg finished the season ranked number 4, losing their only game of the season. After the 8-0 start, they lost 30-29 to currently 9th-ranked Hamilton Southeastern. Tonight, Brownsburg plays their playoff opener, visiting Avon, who ended the regular season with a 24-18 win over the Noblesville Millers, giving Avon 3 wins in a season for the first time in 4 years. Well, right now, with 4:31 to go in halftime, I'd like to take a short break to talk about something else, something completely different. I've often emphasized over the years that I will not bring my political views into this sports broadcast. I think sports and politics should never be mixed. Um, I think that sports have been such a powerful uniting force in society. And, you look at where the NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL, among other sports organizations, lost it is when they started taking sides on political issues and splitting their fan base. Um, I often say before the broadcast starts, we have 165 hours a week to argue about politics. And believe me, that's far more than enough. So from 7 to 10 on Friday nights, we're not Democrats, we're not Republicans, we're not cadets. But that doesn't mean that I think it's inappropriate to talk, about the importance of voting. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not going to on this broadcast. You talk to me off the air, I'll be glad to tell you what I think. But I do hope all of you will vote if you haven't already. More people are voting early these days. I have mixed feelings about that, but I do encourage everyone to to not only to vote but to make an informed voting decision. Right now, you can go online and you can get all the information you need and more about every candidate for every office. So go out there, vote your conscience, but also vote informed. Make sure you know what you're doing, that you know who you're voting for and why, and that you have a solid reason for doing it, because so much is at stake next Tuesday. I'm nervous about it. I think a lot of you probably are too. But whoever wins, even if the election doesn't go the way that I hope it does, I'm still going to be on the air 1 week from tonight for the sectional championship game, most likely against Decatur Central, and I'm going to be bringing the game and trying to unite all Plainfield fans, whether they voted for Trump, whether they voted for Kamala or Chase Oliver or Jill Stein or what's the guy? Cornell West, I think his name is. I don't know. Whoever you vote for, if you're a Quakers fan, you're welcome here. It's my honor to have you. And it doesn't mean we can't spar off the air about politics, but it means that Quakers football unites us, even when we're divided in other areas. So, um, anyway, so get out and vote next Tuesday if you haven't already, and just make sure you make the absolute best decision that you can based on the information that's available. So, all right, 125 to go here in the in the halftime, and I am sorry, I'm not completely with it in this game, just because I'm not accustomed to commentating games like this. I'll tell you, you know, I can think of two games in my career that really remind me of this. Number one, it involves Plainfield. You go back to the 2016 season. This game is still up on YouTube. It's a lot of fun if you want to watch it. I've never heard the story about what happened. I have a good idea though. We were playing that was back when we were commentating Plainfield JV and freshman games, and it was a Monday evening game. And my frequent broadcast partner Rob Kindle and I were here, and we were playing Greenwood, week 5, and um, they were I think over an hour late showing up, and only one bus showed up, and Greenwood's a full-size program, so they would normally, I think, have 2 buses of players, and only 17 or 18 players showed up. So what I'm guessing is that they had 2 buses, and they got in a major traffic jam on US 31, which is notorious for traffic jams. And I believe that not only because only one bus showed up, normally you'd expect Greenwood to have a few dozen players, even for JV. But not only did they only show up with 17 or 18 players, but they only had exactly 2 fans. I mean, that's the exact number of fans who showed up. And I wish I could have, bought both of them, pizza, after the game to thank them. But anyway, I remember thinking, God, these poor Greenwood kids. I just hope we get out of this game with nobody getting hurt, and I don't think anybody did get hurt. I don't think anybody did get hurt. Plainfield won 50-8. And the game was so painful that in the fourth quarter, I'm not kidding you, this is up on YouTube if you ever want to watch it. This is from the 2016 season. I started talking at great length about this bug that was crawling on the window of the broadcast booth here. That's how the game is going. And the other experience I had, this is I've commentated Quakers football every year since 2012. However, I've only done it exclusively for 4 years. Prior to that, I went back and forth between Plainfield and a few other audio sports online schools, mainly Cascade and Avon. And in the 2017 playoffs, Cascade was playing Park Tudor, who had who had normally been a decent program, but that year they had, I guess, a big enrollment drop, and they ended up dropping to 1A the next year, thankfully, and they've done very well in 1A since then. But that night they dressed 15 or 16 players. They had actually canceled the game against Monrovia that year because they only had 13 players available, and that's a painful thought to think about. But anyway, they played this game against Plainfield. They had scored, if I remember correctly, they had scored 30 some points all season. It was, I just felt so bad for the kids. And the game really should not have been played. It was played up there at Park Tudor in north central Indianapolis before a crowd of about 100 people. And Cascade was 2A at the time. They're 3A now. Park Tudor was, of course, obviously it was the 2A playoffs. So Plainfield's now 2 classes higher than Park Tudor. And Plainfield led 41-0 at the half. And the whole second half was played with a running clock. So, but I really felt for those Park Tudor kids because they were just put in a no-win situation that night, like these Anderson kids are tonight. And I looked there, I think we got maybe 25 Anderson fans there on the other side of the field. And so anyway, it's 8:37, so we're going to do a running clock here. So that means we'll be out of here in should be less than half an hour. And I will probably have a shorter than usual halftime show tonight. We'll see. But Also, let's see, Martinsville, who we beat a couple of years ago, who we beat a couple of weeks ago to finish the regular season, is leading Silver Creek in the second quarter, 35-6. The Artesians almost certain to win their sectional this year. Good to see. I always cheer for the Mid-State Conference teams when they're not playing um, when they're not playing Plainfield. Obviously, I want the conference to do well. So anyway, Anderson will get the ball first to start the second half. And it's fielded near the goal line, now brought up to about the 5, 10, 15. Got through on the right side, 30. And so good effort there. Tavius Menifee going out with a bang for his high school career. Hopefully it'll take him to college ball. Also in the Mid-State Conference tonight, Greenwood, after a 2-7 regular season, is about to get as many wins in the playoffs as in the regular season. 2 regular season wins. Now they're about to beat Bedford North Lawrence, Damon Bailey's alma mater. The Woodmen lead the Stars 28-0 at the half. Perry Meridian leading 28-6 at the half. The Falcons about to get 5 wins in a season for the first time in 9 years. Brett Cooper doing a great job building up that program down in South Central Indianapolis. And now to start off the second half, Houston Edwards getting about 4 yards there for they gave him 2. Houston Edwards, only a sophomore, certainly hoping he'll have a lot of better days as a junior and senior. 2nd and 8 now at the 30 for the Indians, 10:40 to go. Under a running clock, so this game should finish very quickly. Plainfield leading 49-8. And now Menifee's wrapped up, but he gets away. He's got room on the right side, and he might have the first down. Wow, he got out of a sack there that I thought for sure they had him in. Let's see if they give him the first down or not. So 1 yard short, okay. Nevertheless, 3rd and 1 for the Indians. Wow. What a game. What a wild and crazy game. So 2 receivers now to the left, 1 to the right. High snap, and he gets it. Oh, Menifee, he tripped. I don't think he got it. So, but so that's just the kind of night it's been. I imagine they'll go for it here. 9:16 to go in the third quarter, trailing by 41 at their own 37. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 1 running back. Menifee, and it's incomplete, not even close. So Plainfield takes over. I'd imagine we'll see reserves now. Menifee's completed 9 of 20 passes on the game. Plainfield only 11 plays from scrimmage in the first half. Scored touchdowns on 6 of them. Also got a kickoff return for a touchdown. So now looking forward to seeing, we got 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, 2 running backs. So the wide receivers to the left are Xander Nadam and Kevin Lee, both sophomores. And now we've got illegal substitution against Anderson. So I'm trying to see everybody else who's in there now for Plainfield. So now, handoff. It's up to the 35, 30, 25, 20, 15, 10. Oh my God. He's a touchdown. That was okay. So that's Corin McGill with his first career touchdown for the Quakers. Wow. So even the reserves are piling it on. So it's good to see. Good to see, that kind of spirit. 33 yards, by the way. Corin McGill, 33 yards. The extra point is up, and it is good. By the way, Corin McGill is a junior, 5'8", 165, so that certainly should help him get in line to become the number 2 back next year behind Starnes after Wayrich graduates. Certainly, we've got what I think one of the main things we have to fill in the offseason is to get the number 2 running back. Wayrich has been so critical to Starnes' success this season, and Wayrich certainly has earned himself a college scholarship with his 18 touchdowns now and counting. So 12 plays, offensive plays for the Quakers, resulting in 7 touchdowns. So, man, we've scored touchdowns in more than half of our offensive plays tonight. 56-8 your score, by the way. That's good. Yeah, Liam just told me that watermelon reduces your risk for, what is it? High blood pressure and heart disease. I'll have to eat more watermelon then. Okay, at the end of 3 now, Decatur Central still leading Whiteland 21-7. So it looks like it will be Decatur Central coming here next week. One mid-state conference about to end its season tonight, apparently. Mooresville, after getting a solid tournament opening loss last week, losing now to frequent state champion Bishop Chatard 28-7 at the half. Franklin, however, starting off the tournament with a win. Apparently, they lead Columbus East, the Olympians, 28-17 in the third quarter. Perry Meridian, like I said, leading Southport 28-6. I'm going to try to find how my alma mater is doing. And now, so now on the first play, and now Houston Edwards getting a short gain to start off the next drive for Anderson, trailing 56-8. Two-yard gain there, bringing up 2nd and 8, 5:30 to go now. Running clock, so we're going to be done out here in about 20, 25 minutes. So now, Menifee throws high. He throws high, but he gets the catch. So now that was Zamarian Bryant, another senior, who getting a reception here in his final high school game. Does get a first down there. So 1st and 10 for Anderson at their own 30. Now handoff to Edwards. He was hit and stopped around the line of scrimmage. He has the only touchdown for the Indians.